Hello everyone and welcome. So this is our second episode in this new year. I'm really excited to be here, and today we're going to be also do some website reviews, and then we can also cover any topics. So this is going to be an open Q&A session. Now, before we get started, I'd like to talk about our sponsor. This episode is made possible by DiviCake.com. Check out their huge selection of Divi themes, layouts, and plugins. The link to that will be in the description below. All right, so as I mentioned, today we'll be doing some website reviews, and I have something I purchased during the week, and this is the new mixer. I'm not sure if you can see this. Okay, so hopefully this will be able to give me much better sound, and I'm not sure if you can hear any difference from how the sound was before. But anyway, if you can hear me loud and clear, let me know in the comments box below. And if you want to know more about this mixer, I will talk more about it soon. Okay, so I'm just going to check here. Right, I can only see everyone is saying on. Let's have a look. Right, something is wrong on YouTube. I can see that I'm streaming, but nothing is showing. This is strange. Really strange. And the stream is saying it's healthy as well. Okay, let's see. All right, so I can hear loud and clear. Looks like the everything here on Crowdcast seems to be okay. Tap on the screen. Okay, not sure where I should tap, but anyways, I'm just trying to check here because there's only 2 people watching on the YouTube. Which is strange, because normally there's more people than that. Now, I think restarting this can cause a lot of problems, so let's have a look. Right. Okay, does anyone have any suggestions on what we can do about this YouTube stream? Because I can't make out what the problem is. Okay. Right, you know what? Let's continue with the show, because I can see here that on Crowdcast everyone is here live, waiting for me to carry on with the show. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the live show here, and this show is going to be saved, so I can always upload this onto YouTube later for those that can't see the YouTube stream. So first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone here. Monique, good to see you. Clinton, Shakir. We also have Andrew and CHR. Rebecca. Good to see you, Feroz. I've already mentioned Andrew. We also have Arohi from Raisa. Oh, no, Arohi Islam Raisa. Okay, that's the name. Right. We also have CHR. Clinton, I've already mentioned that. Tanya, good to see you. We also have, I'm just going through the list of the names here. Okay, I guess that's everyone. So good to see you all. Fantastic. So let's start with the website that we'll be reviewing. So I'm going to continue from last time, and the first website we're going to take a look at here is the one which was submitted by Shanur. So I'm just going to switch over here to my screen so we can see it. Right. So this is the website that we'll be reviewing. So first of all, when I take a look at this website, these graphics here. I think this is supposed to be perhaps showing the constructions or buildings or that kind of idea. But in this case, this doesn't really work because this is taking over the message itself. I can see here end-to-end business consulting and execution. We've tried to put a backdrop there, but this doesn't really work because what we have, the shapes that we have here in the background, they're too in your face. So it seems like when you take a look at this page, this is what is supposed to be the message. But in design, actually, this is supposed to be the opposite. The text here is supposed to be what the visitor sees when they come to the website. So I would, to be honest, get rid of these shapes because I don't see them aiding anything in terms of the message itself or in terms of what message we're trying to portray here on the main page. So I would totally get rid of all these shapes. Now let's talk about the image. Now again, I've mentioned this before on previous reviews that the image needs to be sharp, it needs to be high res, and it also needs to show what is happening. Because right now we can see here, I think this looks like a man, but again, that image does not really tell us what this is about, and it doesn't really show us that this that image is going on with the actual text itself. So I would totally revamp this this section and use much better images. And also here, the message that we have here is not a proper value proposition. So I would have something that goes in depth to let people know what this is about, why they should care, and what call to action they need to go with. Okay, so moving on below here, I think things get better here. Conception to commercialization. Okay, that's fine. And I can see here that these are complementary colors, so that's okay. That seems fine. So here, the way information is laid out, I think this is fine. And also, I would not really go with a drop shadow, to be honest, because it's not really working here. I would leave the drop shadow out, and this should work fine because these buttons here are on a white background. But yes, this area here is fine. I think this is okay. Now, moving on down here, again, I think the use of the image in the background, I think this is really nice. But I can also see that this image is not high-res image, unless it's a blurry image, but it doesn't look like it's a high-res image. But this, again, this section right here is really nice. I like that. And also the use of parallax is okay as well. Now, moving on this section here, you need to add some breathing space below this paragraph because this is way too close to the edge there. So I would add some breathing space, more padding, basically is what I'm saying here, on the top and the bottom. And also, the width of this row is just way too much. I think we discussed this again last time, that the width of your paragraph is not supposed to be way too wide because I forgot, was it 60 to 80 words? I can't really remember, but it needs to be lower. I go with the size. So the size I would use here is about 70% for the width of your rows. So that's something that I would fix here. Now, moving on, again, here things seems to be okay, but I would go back and just get rid of these drop shadows. They don't really work here. But I like the use of icons and also the mouse overs here. I think that's nice. Now, moving on the bottom here, yeah, things for the call to action here, I think everything is fine. And the footer as well, the footer is good, okay? The only thing I would do here is perhaps maybe add some padding to the top, but other than that, everything seems to be fine. Okay, and by the way, as I'm going through this, if you have any comments or anything to say, please add it in the comments box so that we can all discuss it. So if there's anything that we can do to help this design, please add your suggestions in the comments box. All right, so let's take a look here. I'm just going to check here and see if Facebook is working, and it looks like it's not working at all. although it is streaming fine. Okay, so moving on. We have Sonam here saying hello. Good to see you, Sonam. Right, so let's move on to more pages here. So I'm going to switch over back to my computer. Right, so we're going to check the next page, and this is going to be the About page. Okay, so I'm going to click here on the About. Right, so here I think this page needs to be restructured because the paragraph here, I would reduce the size a little bit and perhaps maybe separate this content here by having the image here and then the text here on the side. So you can use a 1/3, 2/3 just to split this this row. And on the top here, again, I would add some more padding, both on the top and the bottom. The color here, I'm not sure if this is from your color palette, but you seem to have a different color, blue, on the main page. So I would use that for this top area here. Now, again, moving down here, yes, I would add maybe a 1/3, 2/3 column structure here so that the images here are on the third and then the text is on the 2/3 side of things. Okay, but other than that, we can't really do much here, but I would definitely play around with the page layout to make this look much, much better. Okay, so over here on the services, let's take a look at the startup and small business consulting services. Okay, now here, it's okay. There isn't a lot of information, but it seems fine. And here I like the fact that we have a quick call to action for submission of queries. And I guess this is the same trend with all the other pages. Right, so this is the thing. When you have similar services, you want to make sure that you have the same structure like you have here so that all your content is uniform. Okay, I'm just going to check the few more pages here. Okay, again here the structure has changed. I would keep the structure the same. So choose the structure that you want to go with and then stick to that. Because right now, it's changing, so I would create a page template which has the structure of the content that we need to add for the services. Okay. Right. So it needs to be something that looks similar to this. All your content needs to be here on the 2/3, and then the 1/3 needs to be your call to action. Okay. So that's what I would do on the services page. Right. So let's come over here to the resources. So we have the blog. Okay, so the blog here is okay. I like the simplicity of it. So we have the images here that go with the blog, which I think is good. But the only thing is here on this second image, make sure you're using the same size images for your blog post. Okay, because that just breaks the flow. Because we have the different size image. So just take a quick look at that and make sure you have the same sizes. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, everything seems to be okay here. Now let's go to the actual blog and see what it looks like. And again, I think this looks really nice. I like the use of these icons here. And I think if you use these icons as well on the bottom here, that would be great because now you have different types of icons on your page. So it's always good to be consistent with your icons. So I think these ones look much better, and these are the ones that you may want to use even on the footer. Now, the other thing that I also want to mention is the color of your text here has changed, and I guess the size has changed as well. Make sure you go into your settings and into your global settings and set a specific size for your text and a specific color for your body text, because right now it seems like things are different. So let me just show you quickly what I mean by that. So if I go to a page here, let's go to the About. You can see here this is darker and this is slightly bigger. Okay, that's what I mean. Right, so the blog is looking good. Now this page here needs some work. I can see here we have all these shortcodes. So I won't even need to go into detail about this page. We can see here, we can all see that this page doesn't work. It needs to be redone. Okay, let's go to Marketer Speak. And again, we have a lot of problems here. So I would go in and fix that. Same applies with this. These pages needs to be fixed. And the contacts, I think this is fine. The contact page seems to be okay. And I would use those icons as well, because now you have 3 different types of icons on your website. So you want to have that consistency and not have all these different types of icons throughout your website. Okay, so pretty much that is my review. I want to take a quick look here and see if there's any. Feroz here has a comment and says the footer appears to be too crowded. Yes, I agree with that, but I guess, in fact, let me take a quick look here again one more time. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I hadn't really looked at what type of content is in the footer. So here we see that there is an About Us paragraph in the footer. The footer is not used for that. I would use the footer for quick links to highly important pages on your website. So I would get rid of that About Us. And on the services as well, I would have maybe blogs or recent blogs there instead. So have links to pages and also links to, let's say, your blogs. That'll be much better use of the footer area. So that comment from Feroz, I agree with you 100%. It's just way too much on the footer. Right. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, so let's move on to the next website. Any comments regarding what we've done so far? Any comments on this current website? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to summarize and say, right, on this current website, which was submitted by Shanu, the first thing is to make sure that you use images that are high res and images that go with the message that you're trying to say on the actual section or the actual page. Secondly, I think you need to relook, or in fact, you need to relook and restructure your value proposition on your main page, because it's not very clear what your website is about, and it's not very clear why people should care when they come to your website. And we also need a specific call to action. So that we don't have on your website. That is something that needs to be added. And those shapes or silhouettes of those buildings and those people shaking hands, I think you need to get rid of that, because that doesn't really help the design itself, unless you're going to use those shapes in a very, very light color. That may be able to work. But if you're going to be using those shapes, then you need to get rid of that image you have in the background, because it's just too much information. Okay, and then I also mentioned the use of the same sizes on your body text. Make sure you go into the theme options and specify the global size of your body font, because that's what's going to make your website look really, really professional. So go ahead and do that and make sure that all your body text is the same size and the same color. And you also have quite a few pages on there that have short codes. Those pages just needs to be sorted before you actually put your website live, because it makes your website look very, very unprofessional. So I would remove all those pages while you work on them, and then go back in and publish them once they're up and running. Okay, so let's move on to the next website. In fact, before I do that, let me just take a look here. Rebecca says, how do you get the links of Facebook, Google, and others on your website? So what you need to do is to go to the page that you want to link to. So in the case of Facebook, you go to your Facebook page, and then once you're on your page, you copy that whole URL on the top, and that's the link that you want to use on your actual icons as you're creating them. So you do that with the Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus. In fact, all your social media URLs. That's how you would do it. So you just copy the long URL while you're on the actual page, and that's the URL that you use. Okay, and Monique has just responded to that as well. So basically, we're saying the same thing. So thanks, Monique, for the quick response. Right. There's also a mention here by Rebecca about... No. It's Shakir about the logo. Let me take a look at this. I might have missed the logo there. Right. So it's just a quick note on the logo. In fact, let me switch over here so you can see what I'm talking about. So over here on the logo, this Success Simplified, I would... to be honest, totally get rid of it because it's not very easy to see. So I would probably get rid of that Success Simplified. But the logo itself, it's not too bad. I think it's fine. It's something that is easy to identify, and even turning this into a brand, I think that would work because of the way it has been structured. But the Success Simplified is something that I'll get rid of. But in terms of the color and the logo standing out from that white background, I think it stands out quite well. Okay? It's just this area here that I'm really, really concerned about. All right, so let's move on to the next website. Right, so on this website here, first of all, I want to start with the logo here. So top to bottom. So on the top here, this logo doesn't really work because first of all, it doesn't have any breathing space on the sides. And also it has a yellow there, which means on a white background, it looks like we are missing something. It's not very easy to read. Yellow on a white background should not be used in that combination. It's a very, very difficult color to work with. So unless it has, borders or backgrounds and stuff like that. So that's something that you need to be aware of when you use yellow on white background. So I would totally change this logo. And also free classified jobs and services. I can see you're trying to put everything in the logo, but the logo itself is just supposed to be a mark. So the way you're trying to use it here is wrong. So I would just have Nepal living, just like in a solid white text as your logo. Remove this white background, and that should stand out better on the top here. Now, the second thing I want to talk about here is this image. Straight away, we can see that this image here is not a high-res image. I've mentioned before where you could get very good images, and that is on websites like, in fact, let me go to the website here so I can show you. Oh, I didn't realize that I was speaking. Okay, so this is the website. So this is the logo that I'm talking about. So this logo here needs to be updated. Okay. Right. So in terms of images here, I mentioned that this image here doesn't work because it's pixelated, it's low res. So go to websites like Pexels. In fact, let me go now. And let's see if we have any images on Nepal. There we go. So these are images that come up when I search for Nepal. Of course, I can't confirm 100% that this is in Nepal, but these are the sort of images which are much better, in terms of the quality. You can see here the quality is is much better, and you can also choose the sizes here. Look, we even have 1920 by 715. So straight away, if I were to replace this with this image here, things will definitely be much better. You can see here, this image here is high res. It's much better than the image that we have here. So use these images. It's royalty free. Don't go and use these images that are pixelated. It just makes your website, it doesn't make your website look professional. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. And over here, I think we're missing something here. We have latest ads, but this space here, there's nothing on it. And when I scroll down here, and this is a major mistake, don't use text like this on a background. And again, I've also done an example of how you can use gradients when you want to make your text over here stand out on your images. So you want to use a gradient that sort of like makes this area here easier to read. And I've used examples like Netflix. In fact, let's go to Netflix right now and see if we can see what I'm trying to talk about here. So trying to look for a good example. In fact, okay, here we go. So you can see here, every time there's going to be a title, there's a gradient. So if you look at Murder Mountain here, or even Bird Box, we have the main image here, and then on the bottom here we have a gradient, and which is like from black to fading into the image. So the reason why they have it this way is so that it's easier to read these titles. And this is similar to what you need to do here. You need to have a gradient that goes across, which makes this really stand out. I may also go in and make this text even bigger. It's important that people are able to read this information here. But again, I would change this image because this image is pixelated. Now, moving down here, the pricing packages, these are fine, but you also want to make one of them stand out so that people are likely going to choose that one. So make sure that you have the one that you want people to sort of like divert to, and highlight it over here. Subscribe to newsletter. I think this is okay. Now, there might be something going on with this website because I can see these little rectangles. I think this is where there's supposed to be images or some sort of icons, and they are not showing. So I would actually go in and try and fix that. Okay. Now, the other thing that I also want to mention here is we have quite a lot of white space here. It looks like there's quite a few things missing on this actual website. So I would go back in and really look at this website and check and see if everything is actually showing as it's supposed to. Now, on the footer here, again, this logo is back. I would really simplify this logo and just even have the text, Nepal Living, just as text. That would work much better than what you're trying to do here because of how you've cut it out here. Okay, right. So, any comments so far regarding this main page? Yes, Monique, you're right. It's an overlay. So that black overlay makes things much easier to read. So that's the right term, actually. Rito, good to see you. And also, Rito, I've sent you some emails. I'm not sure if you saw them. So take a look at your emails. Shakir also says, just the developer needs to remove the white spaces and add images of high res. Yes, that's correct. Oh, and Andrew has just, I can just see a message here from Andrew. Of course, Andrew, if you're seeing this again, that's a great move. Take some time out, with the family. That is fantastic. Right. Yes. And the logo here, keep it simple. Yeah. So to everyone, to all you designers out there, the logos need to be very, 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 very easy to see, and it needs to be very, very simple. I mean, if you look at all these major logos out there, and this is the problem that I used to have when I used to design websites for clients. Clients normally used to want to go with complicated logos, like even some as close to images as possible. So you want to make sure that when it comes to logos, it needs to be as simple as possible. I mean, look at the major logos out there, like Nike. I know I talk about the major brands, but there's a reason why these logos are that simple. So this is what you may need to do. Rethink your logos, take a look back, look at your own logos and see how you can better simplify them. Even using shapes and that kind of stuff, that works very well in logos. Okay. Right, I'm going to move over here. Let's continue. So over here, where are we? Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. So here we have homepage 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure if there's content here. Right, so it looks like we have issues here with the rest of these pages. Right, so I can see this website is live. I would actually go and try and fix this and make sure that this is not out there for people to see because it's not complete. So this is homepage 5. Again, there's a lot of white space here. I would fill this in with something. Okay, I'm going to go to the categories. Right, looks like this website is not complete. Okay, let's try other things here. Right, so this website is definitely not complete. So instead of spending more time reviewing this, I'm sure we can all see that this website needs a lot more work. Let's go to the FAQ. Okay, the FAQ here. Again, there's nothing there on the FAQs. Let's go to the news. Okay, so the blog seems to be working fine. But again, the use of images, I would really improve these images. I mean, look at that. This is way pixelated. I would really use high-res images. And to be honest, you can get high-res images just by even using your smartphone. So if you really want to make your website look professional, I would go ahead and use high-res images throughout, my whole website. And in the previous example, I did show you how it can make a massive change when you to your website when you use high-res images. Okay, so I'm just going to try and take a look at the contact page here. And again, I would try and make this look much better than how it is right now. It looks like this page, this form is really taking too much space here. So I would perhaps maybe have a 2/3, 1/3, and have some text over here on the right that goes with this form. Okay, so I guess there's nothing much really to go through and discuss on this website because it's not complete. So I would actually first add more information on that website. And then once that is done, you can resubmit your website, and then I can do another review. But right now, there isn't much to review because most of the website is lacking a lot of content on it. So, I mean, in summary, I'll just say, first thing, go and look for high-res images, and then restructure your website and complete all those pages, and then we can perhaps look at it again. Okay, so I'm just going to take a look here at Brenda here says the colors of buttons and blurbs don't match with this logo at all. Yes, absolutely. That's something I forgot to mention. The use of a color palette here is missing, so I would definitely add a color palette to this because it's definitely not there, and that needs to be definitely improved. Right. Okay. Okay, so let's move over here to the next website. Right, so the next website here is, I like the use of black and white here. I think that's brilliant. Now, let's talk about the logo itself. Now, again, the logo is good, but I think this can be improved by just keeping it white because it's on a dark background. So just make the whole logo white without these gradients and all these things happening in the actual logo itself, because that's making it even much more difficult to read. So, as I mentioned before, the logos needs to be very, very simple. So right now, I think you've made it complicated by adding all these gradients and lines in the actual text of the logo. So I would get rid of all of that and just make it plain white text. That will look definitely much, much better. So try it out, and perhaps maybe share that information with us, and we could see how that looks. But that's what I would do. Just make everything here white, no shadows, no backgrounds, just white text. That would work much better. Okay, now let's move on to the value proposition here. So website design and marketing. Okay, so that's the title. That's what this is about. Increase your visibility, increase your traffic, increase your profits because your business is worth it. Okay, I like that because it's telling me exactly what I need to do. So you need a call to action here. So you could say, perhaps with the call to action, click here for a free consultation. Okay, that could be a good call to action. Or you could say, download this or read this article for the best principles, or read this article for ways that you can increase your visibility, traffic, blah, blah, blah. So you need a call to action there. Or you could say, perhaps download this free, or watch this free video, or download this free PDF with the tips on how to increase visibility, traffic, and profits. So if you give that away for free, in that item that you give away for free, what you can then do is to give another call to action in that item you're giving for free to say, hey, for more information, contact me here, and that will take them to the contact page, or they would actually call you on that call to action. So you do need something here that leads people to, somewhere. Now, moving on. In fact, let's talk about the image here. Now, this image here, I don't think it has much to do with the web design and marketing itself. So I would actually improve this image that you're using here. In fact, let's have a look. Okay, so this image here looks more like it would work with photography. And the reason why I say that is because I can see this guy here, not sure if it's a guy or a girl, holding a camera. So it looks like maybe this is to do with photography. So as I mentioned before, some of these images that you use, they need to work or complement what we have here as the value proposition. So the images need to work with the value proposition here. So it's important that you choose the image that goes with this. Now, I can see you're using black and white. I would also choose maybe a complementary color that could go with this. Maybe it could be a blue, an orange, a yellow, or something, because it's becoming too dark. I mean, the whole website looks like, it becomes way too dark. So I would add maybe some grayscale colors as well, just to make the site look, much more lively. Now, over here, responsive SEO optimized features galore. You deserve it. So again, I think over here you want to go ahead and explain what these features are. Perhaps you could use some blurbs and just talk about these things like responsive design, SEO, and so on, and whatever features they are. Just the text like this, it's coming across like you don't have much to say about these services, because you've just taken up all this space by just adding this text here. Okay. And then again, the same thing applies here on the bottom. You have your business matters. Get started now. Let's get started. So you could explain more here, maybe, add a paragraph, or maybe some sort of a case study that people can read more. So it could be, maybe, did you know that X amount of websites fail because the SEO, because the business owners don't really use SEO. Read here for more information. So I guess that could be actually something that you can have here, other than just having your business matters. Get started now. I mean, get started with what? So it's not very clear what we're getting started with. So I'm just going to click here and let's see where this takes us. So you see, this is going straight to the contact page. So I would actually put a bit more meat on the bone, because right now it's just too simple and it's not very clear what it is that people should read when they come here. Now, coming over here on the bottom, now this is a testimonial, but it doesn't come across like a testimonial. I would try and get an image here that goes with a testimonial. That will be even much better. Okay. So let's take a look here. Okay, so the link actually works, which is great. Okay, so the link works. Right, so moving on. You can improve. We can help. Again, we need a bit more context to what you're trying to convey here. And I can see here you've introduced a color. Now, it would be nice to see this color here, this pinkish color, on some of these sections where you have a lot of black. Okay. Yeah, so when it comes to design agencies and web design services, you do need to add a lot more information here. On this homepage, I would actually add perhaps a projects section where you showcase your websites that you've recently designed. That also helps the user or the visitor to your website see the type of work that you are capable of, and that also helps them make that decision. So it's important to have those projects that you've worked on, and the best place to have them is on the main page. Okay, so you can maybe add 3 or 4 on the main page. And also have some case studies. So the case study needs to be something that you've helped a customer from start to end. So this could be maybe the branding exercise, or how that website you've designed them improve their business. It can also be how that website has managed to gain them even more customers or more traffic. So case studies are very, very important in these situations, because chances are when someone comes to your website, for them to just go to the contact page after reading just a few sentences on your website, I think they need a bit more convincing for them to be able to take on that call to action to go to the homepage. So, and I'm sure you can agree with me that when you go to a website, you want to see more examples, you want to see more testimonials, case studies, before you're actually convinced that this is the company that you want to work with. I'm just going to take a quick look here and see if we have some comments as well. Francine here says too many empty statements, but not much proof of what they can achieve. That's exactly what I was trying to mention. So, Francine, thank you very much for your comment. So, you do need to put a lot of meat on the bones to explain a bit more about what people are going to get. Monique, he also says a responsive, SEO optimized features galore should be separate. Should be separate columns. Yes, I would agree with that as well. Shakira says call to action 2 to 3 slider images. Banners should be stick to the idea of the theme. White spaces needs to be removed. White spaces is important, but in this case, it's just a bit too much. The use of the white spaces is a bit too much. Yes. So I agree, Shakira, with all your comments. Rita also says logo should be displayed more clearly. Absolutely. So that logo, and I'm almost 100% sure if you go, if that logo is made to be just plain white on that black background, it's going to look perfect. Because right now with those gradients, it doesn't really look, it doesn't really stand out. Okay. So, moving on. Right. So let's go to this web design page. Just take a look here. Right. So first thing, the structure of this website needs to be improved. Of this page needs to be improved. Ideally, this would look much better if you had maybe a 2/3, 1/3, and I can see here that this is the website that has been designed. This needs to be high res. It needs to be nice and big. It needs to be in a light box so people can click on it so they can see pretty much the bigger version of this page. So right now it doesn't really work. This needs to be revamped, and I'm not saying this to be harsh, but I'm saying this to improve so that you can improve this. So I may have come across like it's way too harsh, but this is just me trying to help you improve this. So that definitely needs to be much better. And over here we can see, although this image is small, this design looks actually quite nice. I like that. But when I click on it, it goes straight to the website. So in this case, I would actually have this as a light box so people can see what the website looks like. And then maybe after reading here, then they can go to the actual link. Okay. And also, when it comes to describing, your projects, I would go into detail on how on the approach that you did to achieve this design and how that has helped that customer. That also helps people want to sign up for your services. Okay, let's come over here to FAQs. So with the FAQs here, you can simplify this by using the module, the accordion module actually. So the accordion module, how it works is you have this, and then when you click on it, it then shows this information here below, because what you've done here is made this page way too long. Okay, so you want to use the accordion for your frequently asked questions. Right, over here on the about, what I will do here as well, I think I've suggested this before, maybe have this maybe to 80% width, have the image here on the left, and then have all the text on the right. So that should also work very well. But other than that, I think that is good. Okay, so finally, the contact page. Okay, the contact page here is nice and simple, but what I would also do is perhaps maybe add the address, phone number, if that also helps your business over here on the right. Okay, so pretty much that's what I have to say about this website, which was submitted by Wendy. Right. If you want to submit your website, in fact, let me go to the URL here. So if you want your website reviewed, I'm just getting the URL here. It's macuniversity.com/reviews. Okay, so I'm going to add this in the comments box. Right, there's some comments here. Let's have a look. Okay, so we have Wendy here in the comments. I'm not sure if this is the same Wendy on the website that we've just reviewed. So I'm just trying to read the comments here. This is an old Paradox theme. Right. Wendy, for your question there, what you may want to do, because your website is quite small, if it was a big website, I would say perhaps use the DIVI Builder plugin. In this case, I would actually go ahead and redesign this website using DIVI, because it's much easier that way. You have more control on how you can actually build your website. So that's what I would do, because your website is quite small. It doesn't have a lot of information. So what you could do, as we discussed in the last episode, download a software called what's it called again? Local by Flywheel. So Local by Flywheel allows you to install WordPress on your local machine. So you install WordPress on your local machine, design it there, copy and paste all the content from your current website, which is live right now, and add all that content, and also improve that content on your local machine, right? After you've done that, use the plugin all-in-one WP migration, save all that information, and then upload it onto your current website. So that's the best way to do it. So I would rebuild this website using Divi, because with Divi, you can build on top of your current website as your website grows. So with this, you can actually even go into using things like dynamic content to create your extra pages on your site. So that is really, really powerful. So these are the sort of things that you can actually learn as you're growing. So that's what I would do in this case if this is not running on Divi. Francine, yes, I can also review websites which are in a different language. In fact, we had a website before which was in Arabic, but the website layout was amazing. So I can, but I won't be able to give you advice on things like the wording on or the value proposition, but I'll be basically looking at the structure of the website, the use of colors, the use of fonts, the structures as well of the website, the images. Those are the things that I'll be commenting on. So give it a try, and I will give you a review. Okay, I'm going to paste my link in here. Okay, so here's the URL. Okay, so I've added the call to action in there. Right. Right, it looks like a few people have joined Facebook. So what I think what happened on YouTube, sorry. So what I think happened on YouTube here is perhaps maybe quite a lot of people have not been notified, which is quite annoying because I can see here that there's 8 people watching. And Adam, good to see you. Good afternoon to you. Okay, Adam, if you've submitted your website, I will also take a quick look at it and give you a review. I'll update the list of websites that I'm reviewing. So I've already reviewed 3, so I'll be reviewing more next Saturday. Right. So, any more questions? Anything that you'd like to ask me about Divi, the courses? And by the way, I've added the new courses. I've added chapter 1 of the membership mastery. So I will be adding more modules onto that course by the end of the week, and also the web mastery, the web design mastery course, which is based on the latest Gutenberg, is also in the courses area. Now, there's one thing that I've also noticed is some of you are unable to access these courses. So what I'm going to be doing throughout this weekend is to take a look at the permissions, because it looks like the permissions are causing some of you not to access all the courses, especially for those of you who are lifetime members and also who have signed up for the monthly membership. So if you're having this problem, please be patient with me, because I'm trying to resolve this individually and also going to the website and trying to resolve it there. So if you can, just leave your message on the Mac University form support button. That way it's easier for me to track all this, because if you send me emails, they're quite difficult to track. And also there's one thing that I was going to ask, and that is, what do you think about the Slack? Do you think the Slack is working for us, or should we go and have a forum on the actual website? The reason why I'm asking is because I can see there's a lot of action happening on Slack, but my thinking is, although it's a very, very good platform and it's working fine, having a forum may be actually much better, because people can just click a link or show me exactly where things are wrong, all on one platform. So I'd like to hear what you guys think. In fact, let me put a poll, and let's take a look at what you guys think about the current Slack channel versus maybe having a forum on the actual website. So, okay, in fact, let me just add a poll. Okay, so okay, so I've created the poll, So if you can add your answers in there, I would. So I can see Shakir here saying, keep all the audience in one place. Now, where is the one place? All on the website, do you mean? Or, okay, Monique also says just one place to go. Forum is better. Okay. Rita also says keep in one place. Okay, so it looks like, wow. So it looks like Forum has 6 votes and Slack has 0 votes. Right, there's more people here in the room. So can we also have more of your responses, please? But so far it looks like Forum seems to be the best place. So I guess this is what I'll also be doing here on, this weekend, adding a forum onto this website. So I guess maybe that's the way forward, because it looks like there's a disconnect, right? So we have a website here, and then we have Slack, which is way out there, and it's not really connected with the actual website. So this is something that I was really thinking about. So I thought I would, ask everyone here and see, which will be the better option to. Which will work much better for us. Yes. So, Monique, that's a very good suggestion, actually, that when someone has a question, while they are doing in the course, they can always go to the forum, and the response can just give them direct access to whatever it is that they're asking. So it's very easy to use that way. Clinton also says forum, please. Awesome. Okay, so I'll be working on the forum, and once it's out there, I'll just make a quick announcement that the forum is working. Perhaps I'll even send an email to all the subscribers. Okay, brilliant. So, any more questions? Any more questions? Oh, is there anything that you want to discuss? Shano, the update is there's a new WordPress Mastery course based on Gutenberg. The latest one is now in the members area. Secondly, the membership website mastery, that is also out. I've just released module 1, so I'll be releasing module 2 by the end of next week, and this will be released module by module. There's 4 modules to go with that, so we have just done module 1, so you can go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, and also the tutorial that I made last week on how to create a website using Divi, I will also be adding the downloadables of that website onto Mac University as well. So if you want to use that site itself in your own projects, you can go ahead and do that. And I'll also be adding all the images to that post as well. Louise says agrees as well and say they should be all together. Yes, fantastic. I think that's the way forward here. Chanel, yes, I did review your website, so you may want to go back and watch the beginning of this live stream. Francine says, why is it mentioned limited time next to your price as a lifetime member? The reason why is because lifetime, I want that to be exclusive just to a few people, because there is all my vision that I have with Mac University is to add so much stuff on this platform. So by giving one-time offers, I think, okay, there's a lot of value in that. But once we have, let's say, 10, 15, 20 courses there, that lifetime offer is definitely not going to be there, because it will be just way too much value. Because as you can imagine, these courses are going to be an average of $297. So let's say there's maybe 10 courses or 15 courses in the near future. Having a lifetime package on there, I don't think would work well for the structure of Mac University. So I would rather have monthly subscriptions. So these prices will be changing as more content is being added onto the website. Because let's say I have courses that cost a total of, let's say, $1,200, and people are paying, let's say, $17 a month. That's way more value, because you have pretty much a lot of ways that you can access my knowledge. So first of all, we're having this live stream where you can ask me questions, Q&As and stuff. And as this site also grows, we can also have masterminds. We can also have a group of people that could come up maybe for 3-4 weeks that want to learn a specific thing. So I'm very happy to do those short groups. Those that want to do advanced stuff, I can also do masterminds of advanced stuff with a group where we take each other accountable and work on specific projects which have specific goals. So these are the sort of things that we'll be doing, and having one price, I think, wouldn't work financially well for me. So this is why it's a limited price. That's going to be going away very soon. I haven't decided when, but it is limited. It is definitely going to go, because I'm really putting all my effort, all my work. I mean, 100%, all my efforts are onto Mac University. So there's a lot of things that will be benefiting from Mac University, and having a lifetime price, I think, wouldn't work, for this. And like I mentioned, also the prices will be definitely going up, because there's a lot that we'll be doing here. We'll be working on specialized websites in groups of people, because I also understand that some of you may be interested in, say, for example, creating e-commerce websites. So for those of you that are interested in creating e-commerce websites, we can have specific calls where we build these websites. We help each other out. We take each other accountable, and have complete projects by the end of that. And that's all included in just this membership that you have. So that is why that is unlimited. So I would like to get rid of it, soon, once more and more courses are added onto the website. So that's what I mean by that. Right. So Francine, I hope I've yes, if you buy today, you will be able to remain a member forever. So it doesn't mean that once you've bought it, you're cut off. No. If you buy it, you will be a member forever. So this is why there's a lot of value you're going to be getting from this. This is going to be my only project. So every work that I do is pretty much to improve this website and improve all your web design skills. I want to get to a stage where any type of site that you want to build, we can work together. If you have any suggestions that you want us to work on together as groups, so we can have maybe 5 or 6 people in a group where we have one-to-one. You can ask me questions. We can help each other build these websites that we need until they are complete. So if you buy it, yes, you will have access, lifetime. And once this goes in the future, you will still have access to it. So that's the advantage of getting the lifetime access. Okay. Let's take a look here. Right. YouTube, I think something was going on with YouTube, because when we first started YouTube, there was just 2 people signed up. So I think something is happening with YouTube itself. But I did send an email out to the mailing list. So if you're on the mailing list, you should have received an email. And I've also added it on Slack to let people know that the live stream was starting. So I'm not sure, what really happened today. Brenda, the question here from Brenda says, do Divi layouts from a year ago still play well with the new Divi and WordPress? Yeah, I would think they would still work very well. So just give them a try and see how they work. So even if they have maybe advanced code in CSS and PHP, I think they should still work well. Definitely. So give it a try. Okay. So it looks like Ecamm Live is working really, really well. So I'm really excited about this, and finally we have something that works. I used to get very frustrated when trying to set up, the streaming softwares to make sure that everything works fine. So it looks like I'm going to stick with Ecamm Live. So what we're going to be doing is in the future, I'll just be notifying everyone as I am now, and then we can take it up from there. And also, just to give you an idea of my investments in Mac University, just a few days ago, I actually purchased a brand new mixer. Now, this mixer is fantastic. In fact, let me show you. I did show it in the beginning. So this is about $700-800. So this was just delivered a few days ago. So the reason why I ended up purchasing this is because I was getting issues with my audio. And because I had so many things connected to try and make it work. So this is an all-in-one system, which allows me to just plug in straight into my computer, and it just works. So I'm glad that the response that I've got today was the sound is much better. So it is fantastic. I can also use this as a podcast. So in the near future, I would also love to do some podcasts all on web design and design. So this is an all-in-one system, and it also has quite a lot of features where you can actually call into the show, where you can be part of the show by calling in via the mobile phone or via Skype. It has the capability of doing that because I can connect to my phone via Bluetooth. So it's really, really powerful. I'm not an audio guy, but I can tell you that I'm really pleased with this. It's really, really good. And over here on these buttons, you may be wondering why these buttons are there. Over here, I can customize messages on these buttons. So let's say I want to have like an intro for this show. I can actually set it to each one of these buttons. So like that. So I'm sure you can hear that playing. Okay. So you can customize all these and have different buttons that have specific messages. But this is something that we may do later on in the future when we have a proper live show. Okay, right. So that is my latest addition to make Mac University tutorials, and these live shows sound even better and more professional. Okay, right. Yes, I may do a video on the mixer itself because this is a recent product from Rode. I mean, it is fantastic. Before this was released, I was actually looking at a mixer, which was close to $1,000, but I was really saving up for it. So when I saw the opportunity to get this mixer, I just went for it because I knew this is a great investment moving forward. Okay, fantastic. Right, I'm just going to check here on YouTube and let's see. Shanur says, which of your official website do you provide your services? Well, my service is pretty much Mac University. That's where I'm dedicating all my efforts in. So Mac University is the best place. Okay, so if you go to Mac University, you can contact me that way. The support is there. I used to have a design agency before, but I think I've mentioned the story a few times. So right now, I prefer creating, courses, creating content, and that is what I'm doing currently. So if perhaps you're thinking of maybe some other services that I do outside this, no, this is my main thing that I do, macuniversity.com. Right. That is so funny from Monique. Men justifying their purchases. Right. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So, any more questions? Any more questions? So what I'll be working on today and tomorrow is adding that forum, and I'll notify everyone right away once the forum is up and running. And I think I agree with you all that things being on the same website is much better, because sometimes looking at your phone, you have a response on there and maybe there's a link, trying to follow that link from the phone to the actual website, and it's just all over the place. So I will definitely send you an update. And for those of you that are still not accessing your courses, even though you're members, please just send me a message on macuniversity.com in the support tab, and I'll be working on that. And so please be patient, because there are quite a few things that I'm updating in terms of permissions and access to these courses. But this will be sorted by, I would say, by Wednesday. Everything should be fine when we do our next live show. Rito, the link for YouTube, what do you mean the link for YouTube? Do you mean for the live stream? I can see here there's a quick discussion, comment by Clinton saying it's not the size of your mixer, it's how you use it. You're absolutely right. And sometimes, these mixers and these devices that we use for streaming and for audio, they are meant for instruments. So when we try to use these mixers, we are trying to get audio out of it. And so it's all, I would call them hacks. We're trying to hack these mixers to make them work the way we want. So when I set up my setup before, it was like 3 devices that I had. In fact, let me show you. Right. So I had this device. So this device controlled, because my office is a bit noisy. So this controls the noise. So I could adjust on whatever microphone that I have, adjust the amount of noise coming through from the room or from my neighbors. So this was one device, which then connects to this device here. Now this is a Focusrite. So this is where the cables would come into this, leave through USB, and then this USB will then connect to my computer. Now, the sound itself would come from this mixer. So you can see it's getting complicated. So this is the main mixer that I was using before I bought this one. So setting up this mixer to make it sound really good with all these other devices. I mean, as I mentioned, I'm not like an audio guy. So this cost me pretty much the same as this current mixer that I've just bought, or maybe even more. But adjusting it to make sure that it works the way it's supposed to, that, to be honest, was a headache. I mean, I even had some guys from some audio guys who've worked with DJing and all that kind of stuff to try and set this up so that it sounded very well or very good. But, you know, it was a struggle. So this is why I just thought, you know what, I want something that's built for purpose. So this current mixer that I've just shown you here, the one that I've just bought, is actually made for podcasters, and it also works for live streams. So that is where that's the decision that made me, you know, go for that, because these setups were just way too much for me. And again, out of the box, it just works. And that's what I like. It's just, it just works. I don't need a lot of setups. I don't need to do much. I just connect my mic, the power, and the cable to the computer, and I'm good to go. Right. Oh, right. The live stream for today. So I guess that's what I didn't do. So I didn't send the link out. So perhaps that's the reason why. That's so annoying. So that was my mistake then. Right. Yes, and time is money. Yes, so trying to set up all these things and getting frustrated and all of that, to be honest, I wasn't up for it. So that is why I just chose to go with this, and hopefully this should be working for us very well. All right, so I think we've covered everything. So on Wednesday, I'll put together a tutorial, which I will let everyone know well in advance, and let everyone know when it will be, what time it will be coming out. It will be pretty much the same time, 12 p.m. UK time, which is about 7 a.m. Eastern, I think. Okay, so if you have any questions, please just add those questions in the comments here, and I'll do my best to respond to them. So in the meantime, I'm just going to go back. Shakir, where's your question now? Okay, it's 7 a.m. Eastern. Shakir, can you add your question again here in the comments box? Saves me trying to, scroll back and look for it. What's the question? Shakir, what's your question? Oh, Louise, sorry, I hadn't seen your question here. Um, right. About your filterable portfolio, I'm going to create a tutorial rather than talk about it here. So I'm still I still need to finalize that tutorial. So I have seen your comment here. Sorry about that. I totally missed it. So keep an eye on the tutorials that I'll be releasing soon, where I'll be covering the filterable portfolio. So that should cover pretty much creative ways of using it, and also how you can apply it in your current designs. Okay, right. Let's take a look here. Right. If you're working, Shakir, if you're working on a project on your website, what I would suggest is, if you feel that you need to let people know about the website itself or what's on the website, make it live. But the pages that have incomplete information, don't include those pages on the website. However, my suggestion is, do not publicize your website unless it's complete. So first work on your website on your local machine, and then upload your website once everything is complete. So that's how I would tackle that. Okay. And I hope I've answered your question here. Let me just read your question one more time. Yeah, so I would say move it to production site once everything is completed and everything is working fine. That's the best way forward, because if you put an incomplete website online and people start seeing it, I mean, that is not a very good impression or first time impression when people come to your website. Okay? Right. And you can also get away with having maybe even a coming soon page where people can leave their email, and then you can notify them once the website is up and running. Right, so I'm just taking a look now at the last. Right, so any more questions? I think we're going to finalize our show. Oh, so I can see, Rito, you trying to rebuild your website. That is fantastic. Yeah, that should work fine. Definitely. So let us know how you get on with that website, or even share the link as well, and so we can see how you've managed to put that together. All right. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in on this live show today. I will see you again on Wednesday, where I'll have a tutorial or a topic to cover, and then In the meantime, I will be working on creating the forum on the current website, and then inviting everyone to that forum and letting everyone know that the forum is up and running. And for anyone that still has issues with connecting to the actual website, please do send me a message on macuniversity.com, and I'll do my best to try and fix that. All right, so have a good weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you again on Wednesday. Take care.